Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna do a quick unboxing and overview of the Godox's newest pocket flash. That's the model number AD200 Pro. This is a very powerful portable flash with 200 watts of power output, and we're also gonna take a look at some of the options of triggering this flash. Now I bought the Godox from B&H, so different brands but exact same thing, okay? And interestingly, I found a used unit, so I bought it used, and this is almost $100 cheaper when I bought it used from B&H. And I was taking a gamble, so when I bought it and I took it out of the box, it looks pretty nice. Like they stated it's in condition like 9 out of 10 with minimal wear. So I got it, I took it out of the box, I actually played around with it a little bit before doing this overview. And so everything else is in there except the little adapter that you need to use to put the flash onto the stand. So that's the only part that's missing, but for $100 less, I could care less because I have some other attachment kit that I can easily mount the flash to any kinds of stands. So that's out of the way. The flash retails for like 300 something. I bought it used for $250, and this is what it looks like. So it has two mounting options. One, you can mount it over here like horizontally, and another, there's a little hole over here, so you can mount it vertically depending on the subject that you're shooting, whether it's a wider field or it's a taller subject. Okay, so the head is very cool. It's a very cool concept. The head is actually replaceable. So if in any case you don't want to use a straight tube, take it off by using the little clipper over here, and you can put in this really cool like a strobe style tube which mounts onto this thing. So the tube is over here, and the tube is protected by a very thick glass outside, just like some of the other flash strobe tubes that you're gonna see. Very important though, when you line it up, you have to line up the dot with the red inside, otherwise it's gonna screw up everything for you. Okay, so make sure you line it up and then just push it in, and here's a little lock. So basically you just rotate it clockwise to lock it a little bit. Basically it's a little thing it's a spring that holds it into place, so you wouldn't be able to take it out easily. Okay, so the tube is actually a pretty interesting design, and this tube actually have a little more power output than the straight tube. However, this tube does not do LED modeling light, and the straight tube actually have a LED modeling light inside, which is pretty cool. Also good for use on spot if you need to shoot some videos really quick, and this would be really helpful, the straight tube. Okay, so on the bottom of here is the battery, which is a 2900 milliamp hour. Okay, so it's a pretty high capacity battery. And interestingly, I want to back up because I most definitely don't want the battery to run out during the shoot. So I bought a spare brand new battery from B&H, and it's the same battery compared to the AD200, not the Pro model. The AD200 doesn't have high-speed sync, but the Pro model does. But the battery is exactly the same, so if you're looking for a spare battery, just buy the battery for AD200 and you should be golden, okay? On the back of the flash is, put the battery in. On the back of the flash is your main control panel. You turn it on by a little light switch over here, and you can hear it's charging and it's ready. So right now it will be really hard to see on the camera. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Go down a little more. So it's gonna be flashing because it's a LED display, unfortunately, so I'm sorry about that. But right now it's in TTL mode and it's in automatic. It's in group A, not automatic, I'm sorry. This is wireless triggering on channel 1. And the battery is fully charged, as you can see over there on the indicator, and I have the audio, the beep turned on, so I know when it have a full circle of charge. Okay, Here's the manual button. If you press the manual button, it goes into custom functions, which have like 7 functions that you can adjust. This is a little useful, very useful round dial with a little push button. So it's really quick to change all kinds of settings. This is the wireless function. So if you press this, it turns on the wireless triggering as a receiver, and you push it, it turns off. So you just use it as a master unit. If you long press this, you can turn on the high-speed sync. Since I have a Sony unit, I'm using the Sony high-speed sync, and I can confirm it works perfectly fine. This high-speed sync is great if you use aperture mode outdoors, shooting in broad daylight, the sun is very bright, and you want some field flash like on your model. Over here you can change the group and the channels when you are in the remote mode. There are 5 groups, and in terms of channel, see how many channels it has. I have 32 channels over here. Okay, so you long press this to change the channel, and you press it once to change the group. So like so. So very easy to switch around, and this is the mode button over here. So couple very useful modes. TTL, of course, everybody loves TTL, and you have the manual mode if you want to do manual control. For some creative lighting, maybe as a offset flash, and you have the multi-mode, which just flashes multiple times in a certain amount of time, and you can customize the frequency and the amount, the number of flashes. Comes with this little nice carrying case, obviously. So the other things I didn't show you is basically just the charger and the charging cable over there. So the charger, it's like a big brick, and this is have a very nice battery charging capacity indicator. So when you first plug it in, it just blinks green, and once it's fully charged, it's a solid green. Okay, so it's a pretty simple setup, but very, very effective. I actually used it yesterday, took a few sample shots of my cats playing around in the house. I actually posted those pictures for you guys to see, and it works pretty good. Let's see, okay, so, and that's what it looks like. It probably doesn't show up well in the camera, but this is at 1/28th of a second. So turned up all the way to 1 second, and see how I want to see what the recharge time is, so you guys also have a good idea. So this is at full power. I'm gonna flash it once, don't want to look at it directly. So about 2 seconds. It's a full flash, and recharging time is about 2 seconds. So let's see, I'm gonna press again. Yeah, 2 seconds. And if I'm using anything less than let's use 1/8 of a second of a power, and test the recharging time again. It's like instant. So this thing is extremely useful if you shoot like anything below, I would say like 1/4 of a power. It's recharging time is like almost instant. It's great, it's super great. Like, I just love this. Like, you can shoot very fast, you can shoot very efficiently, and I'm not sure what this is. The strip over here, I would assume it's for modeling, or it's for TTL flash, maybe, the little red spot. I haven't figured out what it's for. So that's the basic of the flash. So let's change the flash tube. So when you change the tube, always turn it off. And I'm just gonna take the whole thing off. It's super easy to change. And when you use it for a while, it gets really hot. So make sure you don't touch the flash tube, especially if you need to change it midway. So now it's done. I'm gonna turn on the power. And so this thing, the cool thing is it have a modeling light. See that? It's a little modeling light. It's not as powerful, but it's there, as you can see. So interesting, useful thing to have. I also use it as a flash if you want to use it like that. But so with the straight tube, you have a modeling light. And again, like basic function of the flash is just great. The coverage is about 35mm coverage, and it doesn't have a zoom, so it's just gonna be a very concentrated light. So you want to somehow use it somewhere close to your subject, and especially hide it, and it doesn't show up in in your shoot. Yes, what I want to show you guys really is the triggering capability from the other Godox or Flashpoint wireless triggering systems. So this is a Flashpoint, but just think of it as a X Pro. So as long as you have the group and you have the channels set correctly, you can use any other X Pro or whatever X wireless X transceivers to send the signal to trigger the flash of the AD200 Pro. So I can quickly set it up to trigger both the little flash and the big flash at the same time, and that's pretty easy to do. So I'm just gonna show you guys quickly. So the most important thing is just make sure the channel is correct, and so right now I turn it on and it says the channel A is off. I obviously want to turn the channel A back to on. So let's see. So I'm gonna use TTL mode for channel A because that's again the easiest and most convenient way of using those flashes. If I'm using it as a off flash, I usually sometimes lower the the flash composition a little bit so it doesn't overpower the main flash. And over here, this is one of the flash I'm gonna set up. So it's in sleep mode. I'm gonna just turn it on. Make sure the screen is in green, so that's like the flash triggering mode. And you can see over here it lists a couple channels. So this one can power 3 channels at the same time. So basically I have this program to group A, to trigger the group A in TTL mode, and flash compensation of 0. And this is the M means sorry, it's not even focused. Okay. So the M means this flash unit, the master unit. If you're using this as a master unit, you want to set it up this way. But since I'm using this as the master unit, I want to set this as a slave as well. So I'm gonna set it into the slave mode and then set this as group B, and we set it as a TTL as well. And then we're not gonna have any flash on the camera, we're just gonna have the trigger on the camera, and then we're gonna trigger both units. Okay, let's see. So you switch to different units by pressing this little button. I need to figure out, okay, so now it's in the slave mode. It's also in channel A, but I want to change it to channel B, and I want to make sure the channel is at channel 1. So in orange mode, it's in slave mode. That means you're not using this as a master flash to trigger other flashes. So this is already set up, slave mode, and because this is a little on-camera flash, you have the option to control the zoom range, or you can set it to automatic, which is actually pretty cool on the Sony cameras. When you zoom the zoom lens, the zoom automatically changes. So let me set it to automatic, and let's see if it actually changes when I zoom the camera. Okay, so I don't have a zoom lens, never mind, but it should change the zoom for you. And channel 1, trying to find the option to turn the high-speed sync on, but I don't see the option over here in the slave mode, so that is unfortunate. Let's see, what other modes does it have? So it might have the so yeah, unfortunately on those little cameras you cannot turn on high-speed sync. So that's something to keep in mind, because I totally did not know that high-speed sync is not supported in the slave mode. However, it is supported if you use this as a master trigger. So I would almost say if you don't have this, just use this as a master trigger, and if you want a on-camera fill flash, this works pretty good. So now I have this set up as channel, let's do channel B, because I want to see it triggering both channels. So this is channel A on channel 1, so this is ready to go. And now we set up the commander. So I want to trigger both channel B and channel 1, I mean channel A. So I have channel A as TTL mode. I want to trigger channel B as well, so instead of off, I'm going to change it to TTL as well. So it's in TTL mode. And now the zoom, I can change it to auto, because if I put it on camera, it has the little sensor to detect the zoom range. It should send the correct signal over there. And I have the option to turn on the, oh, it's already turning on. That's pretty cool. I have the option to turn on the motoring light over here from far away. Obviously it doesn't have the motoring light over here, so I can't really turn it on here. So instead of hitting here, you can also change the group by hitting here and just rotate, but I find like changing over here is much easier. Okay, so instead of hitting the quick access button over here, you can also hit group here and just rotate through the groups. But I find actually just changing it over here is much quicker, but it gives you a couple options to change. You also have the high-speed sync option, so if you turn it on, unfortunately it doesn't turn on the, let's see. So if I turn on the high-speed sync over here, it does not turn on the high-speed sync on the off-camera flash, at least on this model. So yeah, most definitely you can't use it there, but you can use it over here in channel mode. If you turn the high-speed sync on, let's see. Let's go to channel A. And I think that is something to test on the outdoor, of course. So now it's in the receiving mode or the slave mode. Let's just do a quick triggering. So obviously both lights flash. Show you guys. And flash is just too quick, so, but yeah, both lights flashes, okay? It just really hard to see on the really hard to see in the video. Okay, so this should sum it up. And in terms of like use it for all kinds of events and locations, the AD200 is most definitely gonna do the job perfectly fine, as long as you find a way of carrying it, or maybe mount it on a little like a carrying grip, so you can mount it off camera a little bit as a, you know, the main light. But I would still say with this wireless X system set up, the whole thing is super versatile, and it doesn't really break the bank buying all those units, which is the beauty of it, because if I invest in a pro photo line, it's gonna offset me a couple $1,000s. And if I can use so the whole setup is less than $400. If I could use those setup to do more than 5 different gigs, I should easily be able to make the cost worthwhile and make my cost back, and then invest in more photo gears if you like. It's great value. I'm not getting paid by those manufacturers to say good things about them. I buy them for myself, and I find them to be extremely useful. So I want to share those with you guys, and you can judge for yourself whether this investment is worth it or not. So thank you so much for watching, and if you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. I hope you found this video informational. Sorry if it's a little bit too long, but I'll see you in my next video, okay? Take care.